Well, good morning and thanks for watching. We're going to be back out here in the garden for a little while this morning. I want to take a closer look at the little problem we're having with our potatoes. But before we do that, let's just look and see how much things have grown in the past week. Well, let's just start over here. There's a little cherry tomato plant that we planted, a little Sweet 100. It's doing great, coming on. Zucchini. It has really taken off. Got a couple of small zoots down in there, starting to come on. And then here is our Rise and Shine squash, yellow squash, grows vertically. I've never planted it before, but it looks like it's doing really good. Got a couple little squash coming there. A couple more starting over on here. So it's doing real good. Squash, zucchini, doing great. Now we planted some carrots, Danvers carrots, in this tub. I use a pelleted seed, and we got some germination, not great, but we got some coming up. But I had a little pack of Danvers that were not pelleted. So I sprinkled them around a little bit, add a little soil over top of them. So let's see what happens now. Then our potatoes right here, the ones we did in the tub. You see they're doing great. I'm really excited to see how they turn out, but they are really looking good. Then our jalapeno peppers here, they're doing okay. It just hasn't been warm enough for our peppers to really take off. For the last week, our weather has gone from highs in the low 60s to the upper 80s, back to the low 60s. Now today we're supposed to be back up in the 80s. Plus we've had a lot of rain over the last week. So rain's been good, but the heat just hadn't been warm enough for the peppers to really go. But cucumbers like them. These are straight 8 cucumbers. They're coming along well. Our tomatoes, these are the Mountain Fresh tomatoes over here. They are really coming on. You see they're blooming, doing good. The beans we have around them, they're doing well also. Corn. You hear the goats in the background. The corn has really come up. It's grown a lot since we worked it last week. Add a little fertilizer to it. About another week or two, I'm going to plant that back half back there. But the corn doing well. Okra's coming on. Okra's kind of like peppers. They like the hot weather, but they're doing okay. They need to be thinned again. You saw we thinned them a little bit last week. We're going to come back. One thing we're going to do this morning and give them another thinning. Then on the outside here, same thing. We've got a few peppers. They're doing okay, doing well. Now we're going to come back to our potatoes in a few minutes and talk to them, talk about them, the problem we're having. But let's look inside here first. See what we got going on here. Now our beans down through here, once again we got the Blue Lake bush beans. They are really doing good. Really doing good. They're coming on doing well. The onions, as I said last time, really disappointed onions. I'm going to go ahead and pull them today, get rid of them. I'm just really disappointed in them. I might plant me another row of beans right down here in front of the tomatoes. Now these are our big beef tomatoes, indeterminate. We're using clips and just run them up this string right here. We're keeping them suckered. As you see, we got tomatoes coming on. Some there, some right here. Now this plant right here, the top got broke out of it, so I guess that's as big as it's going to get. But the rest of them are coming on. Some suckers right here, pinch that one off. Tomatoes on it, same thing here. Got some tomatoes down here. So they're doing good. Now down here is our green stalk planter. As you see, the first 2 rows I had beans in them, and the second row about caught up with the first one. We've got some carrots we planted here. They're starting to germinate a little bit. They're not doing great, they're doing okay. Look at there, we got a petunia that's blooming. Got some more petunias up top. There's another pretty one right there. They're starting to bloom, so green stalk's doing good, looking pretty. Okay, let's go back out here and talk about these potatoes for a second. Now my plans, when I originally planned these potatoes, was when they started getting up, is to come back in and hill them a little bit. But I started having problems with them. I said, well, they all gonna die, so I'm not gonna fool with them. Well, I hadn't done a thing, but I got to looking the other day, and I said, well, that's real strange. And what is happening is, you see the back half here look horrible. The front half look fine. But if you watch my garden makeover video, I enlarged my garden a couple months ago. You see that post right there? That's as big as my garden was from here over. And I added from here that direction. Let's walk back over here and let me show you. If you look right here where the gate is, and look right down through there, that post we're just looking at, that's where my fence went. My garden was to the left, and I added the part to the right. And if you'll see, that's right where our potatoes are looking bad, to the right of where my garden stopped. And what I had was a one long bed right down through here going that direction, running east to west. So when we redid it, we made our garden bigger, turned our beds around, and made them going east to west. So from right here to the right, our potatoes are looking bad, to the left looking good. And I did not do a thing outside here when it was still my pasture. I have never sprayed my pasture for weeds. That's what the goats are for. So I didn't put out any Grazon or anything like that in my pasture. The only thing I can think of that I did is when I was remaking my beds, I took, like I say, I had a real long one running this direction. I took my wheelbarrow and I moved my soil around and made my new beds run the opposite direction. And I'm just wondering, I had some tomatoes out here in this bed last year. If I got some soil that was where I had tomatoes last year and put them in that spot, as we all know, potatoes and tomatoes, you don't plant behind them each year. They're real susceptible to disease. So that's the only thing I can come up with. Potatoes in the front, good. Potatoes in the back, bad. And that's the only thing I can think of that I've done different. Now, if anybody's got any ideas, any suggestions, I wish you would please let me know, because I am bamboozled by why that has happened. But what we're going to do right here in a few minutes is I'm going to take my shovel and I'm going to dig one of those plants up back there, and we're going to take a look at it and see if we can tell what's going on below the soil. So let me get my shovel and we'll do that now. Well, I've got my shovel. Let's dig one up, see what we see. How about this one right here? Well, we got a good many small potatoes making. You can see them right here. It is making potatoes. There's a seed potato right here. So it is making, there's a seed potato. A bunch of small potatoes in there. I'm gonna throw this right over the fence there for the cows, or the goats. Yeah, good many potatoes in there. Just don't understand it. Well, I don't know. It looked below ground like they were doing fine, but they sure look bad up here. And I just don't know what is causing it. Front half looks great, back half looks bad. So I guess we're just going to leave it like it is till harvest time comes, then harvest them all at one time, see what's going on back here, and compare them to what's going on up front. So like I say, if anybody's got any ideas, I would appreciate it if you put it in the comments. All right, let's thin this okra out a little bit right quick while we're here. All right, let's thin this okra, and we've got a few weeds we're going to pull while we're in here. Okay, that didn't take but a second. That's all we're going to do with the okra right now. All right, well that's going to do it for the garden for this morning. Everything's looking really good. Everything's greened up, growing. That rain we've had really made everything pop. Now the potatoes, they still got me scratching my head. We dug that one up and they were making plenty of potatoes down underneath. So we're just going to wait and see. So that's all we're going to do out here. And I did this past Saturday was time to work the baby goats. It was time for their first round of CDT shots. So we caught them up. Had my son, my oldest son, and my grandson came and gave us a hand. Wife did the filming, and they caught them, and I gave them the shots. So they got the first round. So let's take a quick look at some of that footage. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Willow Oak Farm. Today it's just a rainy Saturday afternoon here in upstate South Carolina, so we figured it'd be a good time to work these goats, the baby goats. We're inside that window where it's time for their first round of CDT shots. That's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to give all of them, there's 20 of them. We're going to give them all around the CDT shots. And we're going to band all the little boys. We've got 11 little boys, 9 girls. We're going to band all the boys. Now what I have over here, got my bander. We're going to band the boys, got them laid out. Got a CDT, get them all shot. Now I've got some gloves I'm going to put on right here. And the reason for that is I'm going to give them all a squirt of this blue stuff on their back after I band them. So I'll know who we've done. So stay with us, and we're going to get started in just a few minutes. We're waiting on my oldest son and my grandson. They're going to give us a hand. So stay with us. All right, here we go.
All right, we're going to get ready and band the boys and give some shots. Got Logan, our grandson, helping us, and just...
Alright, we know she's been done. I try not to put these gloves on so I don't get this blue spray all over me. Alright, grab another one.
Oh no, I think that's a boy.
1029. 1029? Yeah.
Oh.
What are you doing, Brian? Alright, CDT, banded, put a little stroke on him. Alrighty. Go again.
I think you ought to leave him as a Billy.
Oh my gosh.
Leave him as a Billy, John. He's a big old thing.
Well, No, let's ban him because he's gonna have to.
Gosh.
So we have to separate him if we do it right now, you know.
That guy is giant.
What's his number? 19?
You sure you want to ban him?
What's his number?
19. He's giant.
What do y'all say?
I say
I think
no.
you should keep him. He's
I
giant.
say keep him.
He's a big old boy.
He's a big old boy. I'd keep him.
But he's brown, so it's not like he's gonna be colorful. Baby's
Oh well. We lost out, Logan. That's the second one we've lost out on.
Well, it's okay.
Well, no, we're gonna have to go ahead and don't separate him in the next couple of weeks. And where you gonna put him?
Over there with Willie and Buzz.
Well, that's all we're gonna do for now. As you saw, the garden's looking really good. We've been having our showers every few days. The weather's warming up. Everything's greening up, doing good, except for the potatoes. And don't know what's going on there, but we're just gonna wait till harvest time, dig them all up, compare the front half to the back half, and see what they look like. But everything else in the garden is looking really well. The goats, you saw we got our first round of CDT shots in the babies. About another week or so, they'll be ready for round 2. And the cows are doing really good. We're rotating them every couple of days, moving the fresh grass. Got one cow springing up pretty heavy. So hopefully before next video, maybe we'll have a baby on the ground. We just have to wait and see. But anyway, that's where we're gonna leave it for now. So until next time, hope you have a great week.